Hey folks, this is Coach Pete. I'm with Robin Whitlock and Kevin Sullivan with Infinite Wealth Advisors. They have offices throughout North Carolina and Arizona. Welcome in, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Pete.
you.
Guys and gals, guys like phrase like that. Hey, let's talk about this. Women and money. How important is it for women to understand money these days?
It is very important. We have seen an increase in the women coming into our practice that are wanting to just get a financial education. So we spend a lot of time doing education where historically it had always been the male who would come in and lead all the investment decisions, but we have seen a trend in the last 2 or 3 years where the women are leading the charge in the investment decision making.
Well, that's important too,
It's
because
very
understanding, Kevin, very important, isn't it?
Yeah, the fundamentals are that, in a lot of cases where you have the male spouse who's taking control and the female spouse who is not really involved in the day-to-day financial decisions, investment management. We have a couple of existing clients where that has happened, even though we've encouraged the female spouse to be involved. The male spouse passes away, and now the female spouse has got a feed from a fire hose. Interestingly, and with respect to our practice, what we tend to do is it's all hands on deck when that happens. We spend a lot of time with just education, teaching the female spouse what they need to do, how to manage things. A lot of knowledge transfer between us and them to really sort of cut down on that stress level, that behavioral finance, for lack of a better term,
Right.
To make sure that they understand the things that they're doing and the reasons that they're doing it.
Now, a lot of times the woman is the caregiver of the family. So if like it's 2 brothers and a sister, the sister ends up taking care of mom and dad, and that's extra stress as well.
A lot of extra stress, and we both have experience with that in both of our own families, and we've seen 75% of the caregivers are women, and so as a result of that, they are at a disadvantage when it comes to the financial piece of it, with their wages being less. So it's really important that we do a lot of education for these women that are those caregivers.
Well, you got to understand, I mean, what goes into taking care of somebody too. It's not just the time, it's the effort and the money you could have been making. Now you can't make that money because you're taking care of mom and dad or family members.
That's exactly right. So there's a big delta there, and we try to help those folks when they come in and teach usually the women as the caregiver, help them, get them up to speed so that they understand what they're dealing with. So if they are in a position where they have to be the primary financial breadwinner for the family, that they can do that.
What should someone do if they feel like they really want to get more information or more involved in the finances? How can they approach their spouse like that?
Be involved. I mean,
Yep.
Approach your spouse first. Ask them to get you involved in what you're doing. You can come in to our office. We do a lot of knowledge transfer with clients. We think that that's critical. Managing that stress level, that behavioral management is very critical, and it's like doing a financial plan. You want to have left eye on the horizon, right eye on the beachfront. That left eye, you need to see things coming up over the horizon so you're not surprised when an event like that happens, and you're able and armed to really manage it.
This is a tough topic for a lot of folks, Robin, especially if you haven't been around the financial side and now you want to all of a sudden want to start paying attention to it. Having that first conversation with a spouse is important, isn't it?
It's very important, and sometimes it can be very overwhelming, and what we have done is brought both spouses into the office and had that conversation as a group, and it takes that pressure off of that spouse who doesn't have the experience or the education on those finances. So, and we've done a lot of that in recent history.
Well, if folks would like to find out more about how to have this conversation, all they have to do is call the number on the screen.
Yes.
Yes, sir.